You know, after some thinking, I've come to a conclusion that I like Talulah. From her design to her powers to her whole story, it's amazing. I love it. A story of an innocent girl turning into a monster. Such stories always bring chills down my spine. Talulah is the daughter of Victorian Draco nobleman who is also close friends with Chief Wei. Also, despite being a Draco, she was birthed by a Lung mother who was, ironically, Wei's sister. And Wei's sister was also Chan's mother, therefore making Talulah and Chan half-sisters, making Wei their uncle. And a shitty one at that, but I'll get to that soon. They spend most of their childhood in Lungmen and Yen. Her personality could have been described as straightforward, idealistical, and hot-headed person, without considering any consequences, filled with courage and heart, to the point of protecting her young sister from the school bullies and getting injured in the process. Despite having different bloodlines, the two sisters had a strong bond. However, Talulah's birth was linked with a bunch of tragedies. Long before Chan's birth, Duke of Ursul secretly manipulated a scheme that led to a false accusation of Talulah's father by Wei under the order of his younger brother, the current true Lung of Yen. Damn, this family seems crazy. In order to protect his sister from the slippery little bastard, Wei arranged another marriage to Chan's father. Such decision caused Chan, Talulah, and their mother to distaste him. Due to the circumstances of Edward's death, Wei could not fulfill Edward's promise to love Talulah either. 20 years ago in 1077, a disaster led to the sisters' separation. As part of his imperialistic ambition, Kashche launched an invasion onto Lungmen that led to the destruction of half the city. In the middle of the conflict, Kashche kidnapped Talulah. He wished to use Talulah as a bargain chip to force Wei give up on pursuing him. He even cuffed Talulah with numerous bombs that could annihilate Lungmen. The motherfucker is evil. On the other hand, Talulah willingly followed him in order to seek vengeance for Edward's death. Chan too tried to follow suit, but she paused out of fear. In order to protect Lungmen, Wei had no choice but to give up Talulah. Since then, Kashche had been raising her up to make her his heir as the next deathless black snake. Ooh, I swear to God, if that isn't one of the most edgiest names I've ever heard in my damn life. Like, that shit is so edgy, I'm starting to have periods all over my body. Anyways, he had her study the history of Ursus Empire while making her being proud of her Draco bloodline, a lost lineage in Victoria, by promoting her to be his envoy. Even then, Talulah frequently dismissed Kashche's lies. She reaffirmed her idea as she matured. During her stay in Ursus, she also observed the suffering and countless persecution of the infected. She decided to stand on the side of the opposed by purposely contracting neuropathy, with an originium shard plunged into her body. On a particular night, the teenage Talulah decided to end their feud once and for all by killing Kashche. In her eyes, she treated it as a heroic act, but being unaware. The murder turns out to be Kashche's ritual to pass on his consciousness onto her using his psychic originium arts. Talulah ran away from Ursus authorities for the next 3 years. While hiding herself among some remote villages in the northern tundra, she was eventually brought in by Ivan Izaslav, who treated her as his daughter, alongside an Ilfia named Alina. The serenity, however, came to an end when this village was targeted by an anti-infected program contracted by the Ursun soldiers, and Ivan willingly sacrificed himself to protect the villagers. Out of fury, Talulah burned down the soldiers while bringing Alina with her for the escape. Seeing that the persecution of the infected is far worse than her imagination, Talulah decided to start an organization to protect them. Together with Alina, the two started the Reunion movement. The beginning of Talulah's reunion was rigorous yet faithful one. She first incorporated the Yeti Squadron and Patriot's guerrilla, though she had to win a duel with Frost Nova. The relationship between the two was a good one, even though Patriot often disagreed with Talulah's soft decisions and her idealistic ambition to liberate every infected across Terra. She also rescued 2 infected children, Eno and Sasha, or later known as Faust and Mephisto, in the wilderness and had Alina take care of them. While Talulah was busy busy defending the affected from persecution. Alina would stay back, mother the children, and cheer for the fighters. As Talulah's spiritual mentor, Alina would frequently remind her of her hot-headedness through her kindness. Talulah also did not force others to fight for her. She even allowed others to leave willingly. This is what Talulah wished to see. Ordinary infected living a simple and undisturbed life. But as Reunion expanded, many difficulties started to disturb her. The Ursun authorities began to see Reunion as a potential threat to the Empire, and Talulah had to frequently deal with more disorders due to the pressure. On a particular day, she let a group of infected leave the organization, while Alina was preparing herself to buy some food from the nearby village. However, the village was inspected by the patrolmen, and Talulah took action by defending them together with the shield guards. After that, Talulah discovered that Alina did not return and went out alone to search for her. To her horror, Alina was severely injured, and she suspected it was done either by the patrolmen or the deserters. While Talulah was furiously carrying her back to the camp, Alina spoke with her last breath that she must not seek vengeance, or she will fall into the very way she hates. By the time the two returned, Alina had passed away, and Talulah did not remember anything after that. Alina's death is the turning point for both Talulah and Reunion, making her more somber and serious than before.
Following Alina's death, the Ursun authorities sent more troops to arrest Reunion, and to make the matters worse, the Emperor's Blades, the notorious Ursun super soldiers, were dispatched to hunt down Talulah. Listen, I swear to God, if Patreon and his boys wouldn't been there, the entirety of Reunion would have been fucking annihilated. I'm not joking, I'm not exaggerating. Hell no! Anyways, but what surprised the fighters was that the Blades uncovered Talulah's noble origin and her status as caste chase heir, even though Patriots tried to stop this from spreading and keep Talulah's identity a secret. It was too late, as many started to doubt Talulah's true intention. The final straw that broke Talulah's consciousness was a disaster in an anti-infected village. While searching for a group of missing infected in the village, Talulah discovered a horrendous atrocity. The villagers secretly lured the infected into their granary and locked them inside, causing them to starve to death. In the villagers' eyes, the infected are a waste of their remaining food. At this point, I proceeded to load my shotgun. Talulah was unable to hold back her anger and hate. She furiously slaughtered the villagers and burned down the place with her flame. In the midst of the massacre, Gashie's arts came into action, causing Talulah to agree with his words in the past. And from this day forward, the Talulah that we knew was no more. I'm not a part of your game. Stop pouring fuel to